Heat it, bend it, heat it, bend it, heat it, bend it, heat it, bend it. Okay, kids, I'm out here building something. So, this is a Roban Bell 429, and I'm making new skids for it. So I found out that the skids that come with it are at the incorrect angles, which, you know, they did a pretty good job. They're close. You know me, I am OCD, and that stuff just, it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong. So, I'm playing around with different sizes of tubing, and the tubing that's in there, right there, that is 10 millimeter diameter tubing. And there are hardly any places on the net that sell 10 millimeter tubing. Well, I found some, but it's got a 2 millimeter thick wall. It's thick. It takes a damn torch and heat it, bend it, heat it, bend it, heat it, bend it, heat it, bend it, to get the nice curve and all that stuff. So I've got the first one made up right there. Yeah, this has just been a fucking nightmare because it's a compound curve with compound angles with a compound grind for where the skid actually sits in it, and to get it nice, oh my God. This one's a long, hard road. So I'll give you some info on this damn thing. Okay, so 10 millimeter tubing, 10 millimeter tubing. So I started out, usually on bells, the tubing on the legs is smaller diameter than what the skid is. So, you know, I go up a size. There's all my conversions for everything I need. You know, 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch, and I got the millimeter stuff on there. So the bell skids, yeah, they go up, you know, a normal size. So if this is 5/16, this is 3/8. But it's really hard to tell. It's really hard to tell if this is actually bigger than that. And it's kind of confusing because it's got the joints where they, you know, they're thicker anyways. And it looks like those are the same diameter as what the skid is. So I tried putting it on, you know, 10 millimeter and 10 millimeter, and it's weird. It just doesn't look right. So next size up, this is 1/2 inch, which is actually 12.7 millimeters compared to 10. So, yeah, it's hard. And then, in order to find this angle, the correct angle looking from just the side, because it's a different angle when you look at it from the top, and a different angle when you're looking at it from the front. So, I got this compound thing. So I got to sit here like this and look sideways and make sure that I get this angle just right looking sideways. But if you look at how I got to do it, fuck. So if I tilt this angle back, then it's different. And there's all my little spacers that holding this up, trying to get this to kind of look correctly. So I've got my angles from the skids of what they've given, and I thought, okay, well, they look a little too steep, so I'm giving them some extra width on both the front and the back. And then I have the angles looking at the side of the legs so that I can make sure that my little angly dangly measuring chingus thingy here is right on the same as what it should be, so that it's all the same. I'm gonna tighten that down. If I can figure that, and then, if it isn't enough, the rear skids are back about 10 degrees, and then they've got their own thing. Oh my God, yeah, so that's where we're at. I'm gonna try some 7/16 inch tubing, which is slightly bigger than 10 millimeter. So it's about a millimeter plus, more than 3/8. So 10 millimeter is, yeah. So I'm gonna try that and see if that's slightly bigger. trying to get the good scale look on this damn thing. So yeah, this is a fun one. Here is the 7/16 inch tubing, and I got it close to the angle that I need, and this would naturally rise up, and it kind of ends about right there. But that's about the angle looking at the side, and it's all, you know, it's all weird because we all know that the 429 gear do weird shit. But the front one is the biggest angles. It comes out in all different shapes and sizes. So, and I also, you know, the stock ones, the curve started, you know, from inside, and these actually don't start until they're out of the fuselage. As I'm looking at it here, you know, it's pretty straight till it starts getting out. And the stock gear were inside. They're pushed way in. So I have about 10 millimeters extra before the curve starts. I'm trying to get this to look right. And the skids were too tall, for one thing. You know, they're just really tall. I needed to take off about 10 millimeters or so of height total on here. So, and I got new measuring stuff. My other one was a little too thick. So I've got those and got this, you know, right on there. And yeah, we're trying. We're getting it. Jesus Christ, this is going to be a long night for you guys, if you're following along, kids. So this is the 10 millimeter tube, and this is the 7/16 inch tube. So you can kind of see the difference in height, but you'd also see a difference in thickness. This shit is hard to bend. I mean, it's up there with this. This is just much bigger and all that good stuff. So there's your difference in height of, you know, this is the leg material, and then this would be the skid material. All right, it's been a couple hours of bending and cutting and bending and cutting and fitting and doing all kinds of stuff. So here is the preliminary angles of the landing gear. So the rear ones get a 10-degree tilt. The front ones are 138 degrees. The best that I could measure from the computer. But I think I like it. So the bend comes out a little bit and it comes back, and I'll have to figure out how to shape it so that I can get it kind of around that. I have it kind of shaped around it. Now it's sitting on there, kind of. It's a weird angle, so I got to do something completely different than what I'm normally doing. Which, like on these ones, I would put 2 tabs and it would go in, and I'd drill a couple holes in here, and the tabs would stab in and kind of give it a mechanical hold, and then the brazing would hold the rest of it. But I'm kind of liking it. Now all I got to do is make the other side. And this is all just eyeballing shit. And the other thing is, the real 429, you can see this tube go all the way across. It's actually in a trough, which is normally what Roban does on all the other stuff. The 407 has a trough that the landing gear sit in. Even the EC135s have a trough, and neither one of those have a trough on the full size. And here we go with this one. This one needed a trough, and they didn't have it. So we got to fudge and make stuff look better and more scale. So this will get curved up, and it ends about right here on the back side. So it'll curve up and then get flattened off. And yeah, so that's what we'll do. And we'll braze this all together. And somehow I got to make sure that I get these angles right, and the spacing right between here and here. And hopefully all the 429s come out exactly the same, which always happens every single time. They are perfect on every single measurement. Yeah, bullshit. So anyhow, all right.